Hi everyone. So in this video, I'll be interviewing a student from UC Berkeley to talk about their experiences of what it's like being a student there, including academics, campus culture, and postgrad plans. This is part of a series where I chat with students and alumni to get honest, unfiltered perspectives of college life. Anyways, let's get right into it. Hi, thank you for joining me today. What's your name and what's your major?
Hey everyone, my name is Kyle and I'm a data science major.
So why did you choose UC Berkeley, and was that your dream school?
So yeah, I was actually one of the few who didn't have one specific dream school. I kind of had like a pool of schools that I really wanted to get into going when I was in high school, and Berkeley was one of them. And as for why I ended up choosing Berkeley, it's kind of a long story, but when I was applying to colleges in high school, I didn't get into any of the schools I wanted to get into. So I ended up just doing community college for a year. I then transferred. I only applied to UCLA and UC Berkeley. I didn't get into LA, but I got into Berkeley. So I only had really one choice, which was UC Berkeley. So that's kind of why I ended up choosing UC Berkeley. But yeah, it was one of my top choices.
Yeah, so during the time when I applied to colleges, it was during COVID, and so my options were pretty much limited. So it was like between UC Berkeley and UC Davis. So overall, it was UC Berkeley because I feel like the campus is a bit smaller than UC Davis, and I think I like the campus as well. The next question is, how would you describe your overall experience so far?
So yeah, because like I mentioned, I was a transfer student at UC Berkeley. So the way I always kind of been saying it is, when you're a transfer student, it's almost like arriving at a party late. Everyone already had their friend groups from their first year, and you kind of have to find a way to self-insert yourself into these friend groups that have already formed. So it's definitely a challenge. My recommendation is probably just join a bunch of clubs that align with your interests. It doesn't have to be academic. It could just be anything. It could be sports related if you play sports. It could be music if you're into music. It could be like video games if that's something you're into. Stuff like that. Just kind of, or even culture related. So kind of just join these clubs and just talk to as many people as you can and see who you vibe with. And naturally, you will be able to find your group of people at Berkeley. But for me personally, it's been kind of isolating where I haven't really found my group yet at UC Berkeley. So it's been kind of isolating, but I managed to kind of cope with that by just keeping myself busy and having my own outside interest, like content creation, that has been occupying my time outside of school.
Yeah, I definitely do agree with what you said. Like, joining clubs is definitely a great way to find your group. I myself was in a club during my time at Berkeley where I built an app, and I did vibe with the people there. And you also mentioned music, which is another one, because I was a part of the university Baroque ensemble where I played the violin, and the violin section, I vibe with them as well. And also, like you doing part-time content creation outside of academics, that also applies to me as well. What would you say is the biggest thing that you've learned about yourself during college?
Yeah, so one big shift was that I always thought I would be super academic focused. Like I would just go to all lectures, grind my homework, and do like a bunch of research. That was like far from the truth when I actually got into college, because I ended up realizing that that's not really what I wanted to do, but rather that is what I felt pressured to do. And going back to what I said about content creation, that is one thing that I've always wanted to do, but never ended up pursuing when I was a lot younger. But I finally decided to give it like a really hard like effort into pursuing content creation. So that's kind of one thing I learned about myself, is to not really feel pressured or feel the need of doing something just because everyone else is doing it. Find your own niche, find your own thing that interests you, and just give it your all, because that's ultimately what really matters in life in general. Is not doing something because other people tell you to, or not, or just doing something because it's impressive or it sounds cool to others. So that's one thing that I really had to deconstruct about myself and reconstruct something new for myself.
Yeah, so I definitely agree as well with everything that you said. So definitely like go at your own pace. Cause for me, people usually declare the computer science major in like 1 year. It took me 2 years to declare because I'm just going at my own pace. I no need to rush. As long as I do it, it's okay. Do you feel like the school's culture aligns with your own interest and values?
In short, yes. I'll go into more detail. So UC Berkeley is stereotypically known to be very like cutthroat, according to a bunch of like forums you'll probably see on like Reddit, for example. It is kind of cutthroat to a certain degree. It is competitive. Everyone is very ambitious. That's just something that UC Berkeley is known for. So in some ways, yes, it kind of does align with my value. I've always been kind of ambitious. Want to try to do a lot with my life. Got some big aspirations and goals in general. So if that's something that is you, or your personality fits that, definitely, I think UC Berkeley would be a good fit for you. There's a lot of people who are doing startups, making their own company, going into big tech, or doing like quant finance. So a lot of people are very ambitious, to say the least.
Okay, nice. What would you say is your next steps after graduation?
Yeah. So I still got like 1 more year at Berkeley, so it'll probably fluctuate. What I say now isn't necessarily concrete, but a general idea that I have after graduation is to just kind of either work in hopefully big tech startups as a software engineer after graduation, or if content ends up picking up, that might be something I might want to pivot to. Well, I'm kind of just going with what ends up being the right decision as I get closer to graduation. I'm kind of just balancing these two, whether I'll go full-time on software engineer or full-time content is kind of up in the air right now, but those are the two things that are on my plan for graduation.
Do you have any last words about your college journey that you'd like to share with others? And would you like to give advice to anyone that's in college or like high school students going to college?
Yeah, so one thing I would really recommend is just try to connect and get to know as many people on campus, whether it's at UC Berkeley or any other university. Really focus and hone in on your connections, because ultimately that's what's going to drive your future growth. I know a lot of people, of course, you still want to focus on your classes. Of course, you still want to have a good GPA, but I think there's a diminishing return by focusing too much on academics alone and not focusing on stuff like clubs or just connections with professors or just your peers, because ultimately the people you know is what's going to drive your future opportunity and growth. And that is something that I have kind of not been doing too much, which is why I would say if I did have any regret, it would be this as my one regret. So definitely try to meet a lot of people on campus. The way I think about it is the more people you know, the more path that could carve out from getting to know these people.
I definitely do agree with everything that you said here. So yeah, good advice. Good advice. So I know that you do part-time content creation. Where should people find you, like in terms of your social media accounts?
Yeah, so it would be Kao_Chung1 on Instagram and Kao_Chung on TikTok. I do primarily short form content, but I might consider long form. Watch out for any long form video I post on YouTube. That'll be on Kao_Chung1 as well on YouTube. And yeah, I make skits. I make entertainment, anything, food vlogs in general. So if that's something that's interesting for you, just check them down. And yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining. If you made it until the end, I hope you guys enjoyed that interview. Leave a like and subscribe for more interviews like this one. If you want personalized computer science or college advice, or just a chill place to chat, join my Discord server. Link in the description. Thanks for watching.